For decades, we have been sold a lie about what power looks like. We have been conditioned to believe that the man in charge is the loudest man in the room, the one pounding his chest, demanding attention, and forcing his will upon others. This is the traditional alpha archetype, and while it may have worked in the past, the modern social landscape is shifting. There is a new hierarchy emerging, one that does not rely on noise, aggression, or constant validation. It is a hierarchy of competence and silence. If you look closely at the highest levels of influence today, you will notice that the person truly in control is rarely the one making the most noise. It is the one standing in the back, observing, analyzing, and calculating. This is the era of the Sigma male, and today we are going to dissect exactly why this quiet archetype is effortlessly dominating social dynamics, leaving the loud alphas and the desperate followers wondering what just happened. To understand this dominance, you must first understand the economics of attention. In our current society, attention is the most devalued currency because everyone is begging for it. People post every thought on social media, they interrupt each other in conversations, and they perform like circus animals just to be noticed. When you act like everyone else, desperate to be seen and heard, you automatically lower your value. The Sigma male dominates because he creates scarcity. He is the only person in the room who does not seem to need anything from anyone. When you do not ask for attention, you become a mystery. And in a world where everyone is an open book, the closed book is the one everyone wants to read. This creates a gravitational pull. People naturally gravitate toward the person who seems complete unto themselves. By staying quiet, the Sigma flips the script. Instead of chasing the group's approval, the group starts chasing his approval, wondering why he remains unimpressed by their usual tricks. Consider the strategic advantage of observation over participation. When you are the one talking, you are revealing your hand. You are showing the world your cards, your insecurities, your beliefs, your plans, and your intelligence level. The man who speaks is the man who can be analyzed and eventually manipulated. The Sigma male understands that information is warfare. By remaining on the periphery of the conversation, he gathers data. He learns who is insecure, who is lying, who is the real leader, and who is the follower. He maps out the social terrain while others are busy trying to conquer it with words. This gives him a terrifying advantage. When he finally decides to speak, his words are surgical. He knows exactly what to say to shift the room because he has spent the last hour studying the psychological makeup of everyone present. This is not shyness. It is reconnaissance. While the loud alpha is exhausted from performing, the Sigma is fresh, armed with knowledge, and ready to checkmate. There's also a profound psychological weight to silence that most people cannot handle. Humans are social creatures who are terrified of the void. When a conversation pauses, most people feel a spike of anxiety. They feel a desperate need to fill that silence with chatter to prove that everything is okay. The Sigma male does not have this anxiety. He is comfortable in the void. This comfort makes him dangerous. When he looks at someone and says nothing, he forces that person to confront themselves. Have you ever noticed that when you are silent, people start to explain themselves? They start revealing secrets, oversharing, and trying to win your favor. This is the vacuum effect. By simply existing without reacting, the Sigma creates a vacuum that others feel compelled to fill with their own submission. He dominates the dynamic not by forcing his frame on others, but by having a frame so strong and immovable that others naturally collapse into it. Let's talk about emotional stability as a form of dominance. The modern world is chaotic. People are easily triggered, easily offended, and emotionally volatile. In a group setting, the person who reacts the least possesses the most power. Think of a storm. The debris flies everywhere, but the eye of the storm remains still. The Sigma male is the eye of the storm. When drama erupts, or when there is a crisis, the alpha might get angry and the followers might panic, But the sigma remains stoic. This lack of reaction signals a high level of competence. Evolutionarily, we are programmed to look for the leader who remains calm when the saber-toothed tiger attacks. By refusing to get swept up in emotional contagions, the sigma subconsciously signals to the group that he is the safest harbor. People naturally defer to him, not because he demanded it, but because his calmness feels like shelter in a chaotic world. Furthermore, the sigma male dominates because he operates outside the traditional hierarchy, which makes him untouchable. The alpha and the beta are trapped in a vertical game. The alpha wants to stay on top, and the beta wants to climb up. They are both slaves to the latter. The sigma ignores the latter entirely. You cannot insult a man who does not care about your status. You cannot fire a man who works for himself. You cannot socially ostracize a man who enjoys his own company. This uncancelable nature drives social climbers crazy. When a social group realizes that they have no leverage over you, that you can walk away at any moment and be perfectly fine, they treat you with a different level of respect. It is the respect given to a wild animal that cannot be tamed. While others are playing politics, the sigma is playing a completely different game, one where he sets the rules. We must also address the quality over quantity aspect of verbal dominance. There is a misconception that the person who talks the most controls the conversation. In reality, the person who talks the most is often the jester, providing entertainment for the king. The king speaks once and it becomes law. Sigmas intuitively understand this law of power. Because they speak rarely, their words carry extra weight. It is the principle of supply and demand. If you offer your opinion on everything, your opinion becomes cheap. But if you sit in silence for 30 minutes and then offer one decisive sentence, the room stops to listen. That single sentence cuts through the noise because it has been curated. This is how the sigma dominates decision-making processes without ever raising his voice. He waits for the others to exhaust themselves running in circles, and then he points the way out. This dominance extends to romantic dynamics as well. Attraction is bred in the space between people, in the unknown. In a dating culture of oversharing and instant gratification, the sigma offers the allure of the puzzle. He does not pour his heart out on the first date. He does not text back instantly every single time. He prioritizes his mission over the pursuit of romance. This is not a game or a tactic picked up from a pickup artist. It is his genuine nature. He is busy building his empire, his body, and his mind. This unavailability signals high value. It signals that he is the prize. While other men are dominating the conversation, trying to sell themselves to a partner, the sigma sits back and allows the partner to try and earn his attention. He flips the dynamic from pursuer to pursued, simply by retaining his mystery and autonomy. Finally, the sigma dominates because he represents the ultimate form of freedom, and everyone secretly envies freedom. Most people are chained by social expectations, debt, bad relationships, and the desperate need to fit in. When they see someone who walks through life unburdened by these chains, they are mesmerized. They may call him weird or distant, but deep down, they wish they had the courage to care as little as he does. This envy translates into social power. People want to be around the sigma in hopes that some of that freedom will rub off on them. He becomes a leader not by recruiting followers, but by embodying an ideal that everyone else is striving for. He is the living proof that you do not have to conform to be successful, and that is the most powerful message you can project in a room full of conformists. So, if you see yourself in these descriptions, understand that your quiet nature is not a weakness to be fixed. It is a blade to be sharpened. You do not need to become louder to win. You do not need to learn how to be the life of the party. You simply need to lean into your natural state. Embrace the silence. Use your observation skills. Let them talk. Let them perform. Let them exhaust themselves, and when the dust settles, you will be the one standing, the one deciding, and the one leading, without ever having raised your voice. The world is noisy, but power, true power, is silent.